From Jackass Flats, Nevada to Tallahassee, Florida. From Kankakee, Illinois to Macon, Georgia. Let's ride. We want to ride shotgun with you for the next hour, talking trucking with Dean and Doty, Christian and Kumar. How's it going, everybody?
What's up?
What's up, Russ?
I probably will hear from my mom on Saturday for cussing in the intro, but that is a real city. No need for an air horn. Tina found it, and we were cracking up, so I put it in. Jackass Flats, Nevada. You can say that.
That's
Talkin'
great.
Truckin.
That's a zip code.
That's where Zach's from.
Actually,
Where I was
Tom
born and raised.
told me today he thinks it was a nuclear testing site at one point.
Yeah, it's like Area 25 or something like that.
Okay, yeah. But it is there. We looked it up.
Yeah.
So welcome to episode 57. 57.
Getting there.
In honor of episode 57, we have 57 people on the show today, as usual. Today on the show, Lee Harrison is sitting in at the Doty desk. You can see Lee there on screen. Lee, thanks for filling in as usual for Doty. Doty's on his annual fishing trip with his brother and a bunch of other doctors, I think. Doty's brother's an eye doctor, and so yeah, they're catching fish, checking their eyes, putting some glasses on them, and sending them to school.
Get off the stage.
Joining us, like I said, Lee, on screen, Ray. Ray, where are you at?
I'm in, okay, I'm about to come into Knoxville right now. Knoxville, Tennessee.
Oh, okay. On 75?
On the 40.
40, okay.
My grandparents used to live there.
Yeah?
Nice place.
Jim Mackey.
Yes.
Where are you at, buddy?
Winnemucca, Nevada.
Winnemucca. That's in the Johnny Cash song.
If you see him walking around, don't pick
Yes.
him up.
I've been everywhere, man.
I feel like it.
Nate.
What's going on? I am in Goshen, California.
Goshen, California, and Nate picked up some boats. Did you pick them up today, Nate?
Yeah, I picked them up this morning.
Pretty nice picture of your rig and the boats. Can you text that to Kumar and we'll put it up on screen? We'll have Matt put it up.
Yep.
So they're going to put that on the Meadow Lark website. It's a really nice looking picture and the backdrop. And those boats are on their way.
I could probably pull it up right now.
Yeah, you might be able to. Those boats are on their way to the port of where? In Texas? To a port?
Yeah, they're going to the port right outside of Houston.
And then they're going to ship them to Turkey.
Yep.
Channelview.
Yeah.
It'll be a fun trip. Channelview, Texas.
Yeah. Is that where it's at?
Yeah.
Freeport, Channelview, Freeport, Houston.
Yeah. Here's a picture. I think Kumar's got it ready to show.
Possibly.
Yeah. Well, you can throw it up there when you get it, Kumar. Kevin, are you with us? Kay Lewis. I think
I'm up here.
Oh, here he is.
Oh, there you go. See that?
There it is.
Nice looking KW. He keeps it shine, keeps the wheels clean. Some really nice crest. Well, they're Crestline boats, right?
Centurion.
Centurion. I always get that wrong. Yeah. So there you go. That's Nate's load. Headed to Turkey. So, Kevin, where are you? You're headed home.
I'm actually at home. I've been fighting with the ABS wiring problem on my truck and the trailer.
Oh, okay. Well, you got to get that right before you go back out because it's Blitz week, guys.
That's it.
Starts
Yeah, I know. I managed to slip home.
Started yesterday.
yesterday, the
Runs
17th.
through tomorrow, technically.
Yeah. So keep it clean. Do the right thing. Also, as usual, on screen, Christian Sneed from Roanoke, Virginia. And our producer, Zach Kern. Joel with Wide World of Sports. And the famous Kumar.
Hello.
Also today, we got a special guest with us. She's a carrier account specialist in Billings, Montana. The lady with the loads, as we like to say here in our terminal. From Meadow Lark, Gris Montenegro. Gris, welcome to Talkin Truckin.
Hi, guys.
Do you like that? The lady with the loads.
I've been called worse. So, yes.
Bailed me out.
I'll take it.
So, before I get to you, Gris, just so everyone knows, there's a couple things we We start at the beginning of the year with the St. Christopher Fund. That ends at the end of this month. So we've got, I think, a couple weeks left. And then we'll donate that to St. Christopher's. And then we will start our drive from June 1st to Christmas for St. Jude's. So that's coming up. And the fishing contest starts June 1st. So you can start fishing now. You can get your pictures ready and start sending them in to Kumar, to the show, email them to our office, to Christian, however you want to do it. Get them here, and that'll run through the end of summer, the last day of summer. And I think we went over it last week. First prize was 500. Yeah, 500. Because Fish Stalkers donated 100 on top of the Talkin Truckin prize. So it's 500, 300, and 100.
250.
250 and 100.
So Doty's he's investing in himself.
Yeah, well, he's excluded himself. But I did tell,
nice.
I think I mentioned to Doty, he can enter, but if he wins, he's going to have to give it to one of the drivers that listens to the show, doesn't have to be on our fleet, but so he's got to pick someone to give it to if he wins. But I don't know if he's going to enter. And then we'll have Denny from Al's Quality Market here in Barberton. He doesn't know anyone other than me, and I'm not entering, so he will. Well, actually, I am entering. I did want to enter this year, so I just will have to do mine. I don't know. We're going to figure that out as we go because Denny knows me, and I don't want him to be biased. So that's what we got going on. So if you like to fish, send your pictures in and win some money. And on that note, for this week, until we start the contest, so for the next few weeks, instead of trucking questions with Kumar, where our drivers on the show battle Kumar and all things trucking, we're going to do fishing questions with Kumar for a few weeks. So Joel's prepared some questions, and we decided since you're with us, we will have you team up with Kumar, and you and Kumar can see if you can beat the drivers in fishing questions.
I would like Joel to keep in mind that I have the loads. So he needs to keep that in mind when he gives me questions.
She's already bribing you, Joel.
That's right. In that case, I have all the questions here in front of me.
She already hooked me up.
I'm just saying, Charity still hasn't picked up her load for Friday, so just keep that in mind.
I got your back.
No texting her during the questions.
Here you go. No,
so also this week, we're just kind of being a little lighthearted and having a little fun sometimes is good. We'll talk a little trucking. We'll talk to Gris. But also we're going to do your top 5 sitcoms of all time. So everybody's got their list of what they like from the start of sitcoms. And yeah, that's where we're at. So Gris, tell us a little bit about what you do out at Meadow Lark in Billings. I know our office works really close with you. What's it like day to day out there?
Honestly, I probably used to have to work a little bit more before I recruited Deaton. It's nothing too crazy, honestly. Well, I mean, I guess I wouldn't say that. I mostly at this point I'm just moving tractors, so Bobcats, out of North Carolina. I do move the inventory parts out of the port in the Charlotte area as well, and then out of Washington right now too. And then obviously the built tractors out of that Charlotte area, which is kind of what you guys are moving for me right now.
Yeah.
Right now, that's kind of what you guys are mostly hauling, so I don't have to kind of broker it out to anybody else.
And basically what you're doing, you're basically dealing with the customer, you and Lisa.
I don't deal with the customer.
Oh, okay.
So Lisa deals with the customer end of it.
Okay.
So essentially, there's 2 ends of it. Lisa deals with the customer. So it's just making sure that both sides are being taken care of. So Lisa is making sure that the customer is being taken care of, that everything's running well for them, that anything they need is just being taken care of efficiently, that they're essentially kind of getting their money's worth. My end is to make sure that the drivers are being taken care of, that they're getting their money's worth, that everything is working out for them, that the shipper's taking care of them, the receivers, making sure everything's working well in transit, which I guess in this case would be, your drivers, just making sure that they're getting loaded on time, that they're getting kind of the best rate per mile, kind of to the best of my ability anyway. Just, making sure everything's getting strapped correctly, that they're getting offloaded on time, just making sure everything's working out for them. So she's just making sure that the customers being taken care of, and I need to make sure that the drivers are not being neglected on their end as well.
You also need to make sure that Zach Kern, our producer, and Ian Dunlap are being taken care of in here. And Gris does that. She sent him
Something like that.
That's quite enough.
She sent some gifts here. One of them was the crickets that I had to eat, Gris. Thank you very much for that.
You willingly ate that entire box, by the way.
Yeah,
Well,
you lost, by the way.
I lost,
You didn't have
so
to.
I ate
You
'em.
lost.
I
I would have
got
gladly
Cheetos
ate them for you, Russ.
They were sour cream and onion.
I didn't taste that, Gris, at all.
Oh, well. I heard they were for, I think they said Zach is who, other Zach, or
Kumar.
My name is Kumar.
His name is Kumar. He goes by Zach.
sorry,
So-
but I hadn't
But his
worked
name
with
is
you,
Kumar.
so I just called you other Zach for a while, and it just kind of stopped.
Yeah. So, Gris, what do you think about the fishing contest? Have you ever fished?
No, I actually spent a lot of time just kind of going back and forth between Arizona and Cali growing up, and then Mexico. But I'm just very Hispanic, so I kind of grew up in the part of Mexico with like no running water and electricity, so you didn't really want to eat that fish. So we did fish.
Well, Ray was pretty happy that you were on. He said you were representing with him. So
Yeah, we got a couple brownies in here.
that's what Ray
Yeah.
said.
All
Here we, here we
I
are.
don't look Hispanic, so
Yeah.
most people think I'm Russian, or just in general, not Hispanic. But no, I'm pretty Hispanic. Spend a lot of time actually ranching.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much help I'll be on the sitcoms just because I didn't have electricity a lot growing up to watch it.
Yeah. How long have you been in Montana?
About 5 years. Ian actually makes fun of my geography, especially because I told him that up till I lived in Montana, I didn't know where it was. I thought it was somewhere behind Lake Michigan, which is a little ironic because I grew up in Illinois.
Oh, wow. So
It's
you
a
were-
big lake. I thought it was somewhere back there.
So are you getting better at geography now that you work in trucking?
They made me no, I'm not. But they made me take a bit of a geography quiz. And I kind of just a lot of the states are shit funny, so I kind of just use that to my advantage. I just kind of have that running joke that the drivers need to know where stuff goes and where the states are. Ian actually sneaks in a lot of geography lessons. He thinks I don't know that, and I don't know if he does it on purpose, but he does sneak in geography lessons every other day or so.
He probably does it on purpose. Ian's kind of nerdy like that.
It's his mission to teach you.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'll talk to me about like just a screw like that was manufactured a long time ago for like 2 hours, and I'm like, yeah,
Oh, are you talking about the
Ian goes off on
square heads or
tangents.
whatever?
Yeah.
yeah.
He's not here today, but Kumar is sitting in on the news for Ian, but so we can talk about him.
Yeah, he does. He does try to teach me geography, and Zach is secretly very supportive of my lack of geography skills.
Hey, Gris, do you look Russian? Because your last name Montenegro, I wouldn't say that's definitely Russian.
Montenegro.
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 No, my mom's name is my
was
mom's
a
name
very
is
good-
Martinez. My sister uses Martinez occasionally, but when I've used it here and there, people just assume that I'm married to someone who's Hispanic.
Yeah.
So they don't believe me. But no, I'm actually 5 kids. I'm actually the only one that actually doesn't look Hispanic. I'm the only one with colored eyes. I'm the shortest, and I'm the only lefty. So I'm just kind of the odd one out of 5 kids.
What do you mean by colored eyes?
Everybody else is so I have blue eyes. The other 4 actually all have dark skin tone, dark hair, brown eyes. Like they look Hispanic. It's just me.
Are you
Shortest,
sure you're
left-
Mexican?
I was gonna say
We're gonna have to get some verification
I think
for
we
Ray.
need to do that little
Yeah,
saliva
yeah.
test and send it out.
Yeah.
I think her mom
Yeah.
is a mailman.
23 and
You know, the funny
Oh,
thing
wow.
is that I have a sister who looks a lot like me. Like you can tell that we're sisters. She just looks like the Hispanic version of me.
yeah,
So it's just really funny.
you look like the
I-
Russian version.
I
of her.
really don't look Mexican either. I mean, I get that a lot. A lot of people
Yeah.
think I'm white.
I always thought you were
No, you look
Hawaiian.
Mexican.
Kumar thought you were Hawaiian
Thought
with
you
those
were-
rosy cheeks, Ray.
Southern
Yeah,
Pacific
Like
Islander.
Uncle Tito from
Yeah,
Rocket
exactly.
Power.
Yeah. I'm an
Well, and my
Eskimo.
daughter looks Hispanic, and she's actually half white because of her dad, and she looks Hispanic, even though she's less Hispanic than I am.
Yeah.
Ray, I thought you were Italian.
Well, my two older sons are half Mexican too, Gris, and Matthew, who does the video production of our show. I don't think he looks very Mexican. Do you, Ray?
No, he doesn't.
But Nate, my
Nate
oldest
does.
son, looks like Ray's son.
Nate looks
Yeah,
like
I thought he was
Mom, and
adopted.
Matt looks like you.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah.
Well, the first time I actually saw the episode, episode 40,
Mhm.
which is the one that you guys mentioned me on, which is why I remember 40. I remember I was talking to Austin, and I told him, I was like, I was actually kind of impressed. It was like the way that Russ said my name. I was like, he did a really good job. I thought he was going to butcher it. And he goes, we Deetons are very versed in cultural diversity. And I was like, okay then. But no, I was really impressed. I honestly thought
Yeah.
you guys were going to butcher it, and you did a really good job.
Yeah, and what happened was, I think I mentioned this, but around that episode 40, was it Austin that told you about the show? And she
Joel,
thought
it was Joel.
Joel
No, I
Joel
remember
told her.
Joel because he was mumbling about having to
She
do
heard
the
different.
podcast and to call Austin, and he mumbled the name of the show, and I didn't totally hear him, and my brain just made up a name.
So what did you think it was when he mumbled it to you? Talking trucking with, talking dirty with Deaton and Doty.
Oh no, my
That's
brain
the
just
after hours.
thought it was talking dirty with Deaton. Just
Wow.
So that is not the name of the show, and we did call
Kristen,
you.
your name will be
correct
in
you.
there next week.
But it was all Joel's
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah, we had to correct that real quick.
Speech and-
Yeah.
And so we have a nighttime show we're going to add to this. We're going to give you major
Yeah,
credit later.
yeah. It's gonna be on Nick at Night.
No air horns.
It's gonna be on Comedy Central.
Yeah, so we keep it clean and
on Rough and Rowdy.
yeah. And who's that behind you, Joel?
That is Brock Lesnar and
That is Crazy Bird.
Crazy Bird.
He is one
Does
of
look-
the
does look
fighters.
like Brock in the
Is
Rough
that
and
a is that a lawnmower or a chainsaw?
That's a
Or-
chainsaw. Yeah.
I wish we
yeah.
could play the video. Probably can't.
No,
What's
probably.
he
It would be
working?
an entire longhorn.
Is he working on the
or a-
bushes in front
air
of
horn?
his house, or what?
No, he is just
Training
wielding
for
that
his fight.
chainsaw, screaming. He's got about 4 teeth.
Is he a wrestler?
He's a boxer.
A boxer.
Amateur
I got the
boxer.
event
No,
this
not even
weekend,
amateur, shut
Russ.
So that's Rough and Rowdy that you
Yeah.
guys talk about in
Oh,
West
yeah.
West
That is
Virginia.
this Friday.
Yeah.
Once every 3 months.
Is it
All
on
the
TV?
boys? No, you have to buy it. It's about $15 to $20
Well, how do you buy it? Like through your cable?
through Barstool Sports
Oh.
website.
Yeah.
Have you seen it, Christian?
An express code.
I've watched it, like video clips of it. I've never paid for it, but
Yeah.
I'm good. I might pay for it this weekend.
Yeah, you have to.
It's fast paced. It's a good time. to watch.
Big Bad Booty Daddy versus Lights Out
we all say
Lang.
that. Yeah.
We're gonna have to check. I'm gonna have to check this out.
It's hilarious.
Grizz, are you into the new fighting format, Rough and Rowdy?
Sure. She subscribes to it, I'm sure.
Do you have a subscription?
No.
It's from West
No,
Virginia, apparently.
That sounded like a very judgmental no. If we're being truthful with each other, no.
No, I spent all of my time either taking care of my kid or babysitting Ian and Zach, and then
It's a boring life.
they're a full-time job.
Yeah.
Holy smokes.
And so,
You're the one that's
speak
making baby formula for them right now?
the what? Making baby.
Are you the one that has that new recipe, baby formula for Ian and Zach?
Well, everybody knows Ian loves cats, and he has several cats at home. So Grizz sent him a little cat box thing, Zen Garden. It's a cat box that you can move around the fake cat turds in it, and it helps him get through the day.
It didn't help him today.
Yeah,
though.
didn't help
Didn't help him today, Grizz.
Didn't help
Yeah,
Jim
you
Mackey.
guys
He's like, I
officially
need a
pulled
bigger
his
cat
man
box
card.
in here.
What's that, Christian?
You officially pulled his man card. He's
Oh,
playing
yeah.
with cat litter.
Yeah, he's done.
Well, I sent him
He's out of here.
because I sent Zach some stickers that look like him. I don't know if you saw him with the pit vipers and the mullet.
Yeah.
So
Zach
I
does
sent-
have a mullet.
I
Pit
sent
vipers.
Ian one that says Meowdy with the cat and the cowboy hat. So sometimes he does answer the phone by saying meowdy at me. So
Yeah,
that's
we-
been a fun experience.
I believe it. That's it. So, so just so people are listening, have an idea. Spot market rates. We have some customer freight we haul, but the spot market rates have been down. Everybody knows that. And fuel prices went up, and we've always tried to lean on internal freight, customer freight, and Gris has been a really big pivotal part of that for us, helping us line up our trucks or send them to the area where she needs them, and so we can take care of the customer for her, and we don't have to go through a broker. And if we send them there, it's still not a bad area where we can, and there's nothing, if they're all gone, it's okay. We'll find something on the spot market. So it's been a really good working relationship with you, Gris, and our staff here in our office. And Christian and I talked about it earlier in the week, about him doing some of that too with you guys. So it's been good. Thank you.
I think it's been just beneficial on both ends. Like you said, rates are crazy, fuel's crazy. So I think on our end too, it's just been beneficial not having to broker anything out to, other carriers, and just keeping our trucks moving. Obviously, whether it's here our Billings or just our agent trucks, just keeping everybody moving. Like I said, rates are crazy, fuel's crazy, just trying to keep everybody moving. And right now is the time of year where people are trying to do their bids, and even rates with our customer are a little crazy right now. So that's something that is hard on both ends. So I think that we're at the point where we've been working together long enough and moved enough freight together that we're kind of just kind of dealing with the growing pains of that together. Yeah. And that's something where I've talked to Mike, I've talked to Ian, and we're all aware that that's just going to be like a month or two, and then we're going to go right back to different rates. That's kind of going to change, and it's just been good on both ends. So like I said, just moving our asset trucks, and like I said, I think I talked to Deaton enough that at this point, some of my coworkers are fact checking with me. They're like, "Hey, this and that," and I'm like, "No, that's not true." Did you talk to this guy? Is this guy out? And I'm even at the point where if like Ian needs something and he can't get a hold of anybody, he calls me and he's like, "Hey, what about this load?" Even if it's not my customer. So I'm just glad that we're at that point in the relationship where even if it's not my customer and I can help them out, that they're calling me. And I can help them out when I can.
And you've been an asset to us. There's no doubt, and we appreciate it. And they have you on speaker in here because we sit in the same dispatch room, and I hear you every day. I hear them and you going back and forth on stuff and putting things together. And even when there's problems, we've figured it out together. So it's good. Speaking of trucking in the market, I looked a little bit into some of the a market update with DAT. There was something that I thought was pretty good, and they did too, the data scientists there. So 3 ports, and I'm not sure, Gris, if you've heard anything about this, but the Savannah port, the 5th biggest port in America, the volume was up week over week last week, up 12%. Or year over year, I'm sorry. So this time, from last year, and which is pretty significant. The Charleston port was up 34%, and it was the most volume in a week that they've ever had, which another good indicator that, obviously the more volume you can push into the market, the better the market's going to get for us. And then the number 8 port, the Norfolk port, was up 10%. So I think that's a really good indicator. The data scientists think so too. I don't know, Christian, have you noticed anything or seen anything about that?
I know Savannah was on fire as far as freight goes. My question is, what is driving it? Is it the change in Shanghai and all of the Western Hemisphere shipments? I guess Far East for the way we talk about it. But for the West Coast, what is driving all of that freight to those markets?
Yeah, I don't
It's
know.
all Atlantic markets, right? I mean, is
Yeah.
that a supply
Well-
chain shift to expect or not?
I don't know if it's all Atlantic markets or ports because I didn't look at any of the West Coast ports. Usually Ian does that when he covers the news, and we'll get into the West Coast next week. But I was just checking out those East Coast, and I don't know what's driving it. But typically, we've been in this business for years, and typically when we get into like June, Christian, you start seeing that back to school push. There's back to school stuff starts moving, and then in our experience, and I've always said this, it seems like once you start hitting that back to school push, volume gets up, and then you can kind of ride that till Christmas. It just seems like it flows like that, and I'm hoping that that's what happens, and maybe that's an indicator that it will. And I me, Christian, I'm kind of forever an optimist, so I look at it like that.
Well, I mean, you can either be a pessimist and get what you want, but it's better to be optimistic. At least you're looking for opportunities. There was freight waves that talked about something about rejections. They were on the rise last week, but now they've corrected. So there was some hope that we're going to have an increase in the rejections and the outbound tender volume index. But it was basically went up for 1 week, and then it started to recede back down. Now that doesn't mean that it's going to stay down, and obviously the great timing for the DOT blitz. If guys are off the roads, then normally rejections increase, and since that runs from yesterday until tomorrow, I'm hoping we'll see an increase in the rejections again, and maybe at least that'll give a little language for market confidence.
A little more volume for next week.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, and let's just be real clear about it. I mean, I've had a lot of family stuff going on, but I was, this week I've been in here, I've been helping with getting our trucks booked, and it is a battle. You've got to make a lot of calls, and you can't just settle. You just got to make a lot of calls, and we put together some decent loads. You got to be creative, but it's a lot more time involved. It is for sure. So the other thing, so on the spot market, I didn't really go over all trailers, but the spot market rate average over the top 50 lanes for vans last week was $2.31 plus fuel, which fuel was 76 cents last week. So $3.07 including fuel was average on the spot market in the top 50 lanes. And then, like I said,
Hate to see what the bottom 50 are paying.
Yeah, right. Stay out of those lanes. Well, I was telling John Buchanan today, he and I were talking about it. You kind of circle the wagons in a tighter circle and, find those areas. I mean, the East Coast isn't that bad. I've been sending my company driver. I sent him to Maine and got him out.
Maine's on right now. Yep.
Yeah. And actually, one of Mike's drivers, I sent Mike's on vacation, if I didn't mention that. But Dalla, we're having a really hard time today, Christian Lee, out of Salt Lake City, and for Dalla. And then, I mean, we ended up grabbing I'm sorry, Dalla, we didn't send to Maine. No, we did. I'm sorry. He wanted to go. He was trying to get to the Pacific Northwest, and I said, man, I don't want to just like crush you with what you're going to make if you go that way right now from where you're at. We got to go a different direction. So I said, I got a decent paying load going to Maine. And I said, we'll come out of there, bounce over to the Midwest, and maybe grab a customer load, or bounce down to your area, Gris, in North Carolina, and come out of there and go to the Northwest.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. North Carolina, South Carolina.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where it's at. Because right now, Salt Lake City market shows load to truck ratio just 2 to 1.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's
it was rough.
And that's he's in a dry van, correct? I want to make sure I'm accurate here.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And so then total load search counts were 6,600. Total van search counts were 2,400. So not only do you have a 2 to 1 ratio, but there was only 851 loads for 400 trucks.
Yeah.
In that Salt Lake.
He sat all day. It took 6 hours to get the load, but it wasn't that bad. And he can make money on it. It's not a home run, but he can make money on it, and that we're not going to a terrible area. I told him, even if we come out and work our way down the East Coast and do one-day runs and work our way over to Gris's stuff in North Carolina, you'll be okay. And then maybe later in the week, catch up with something going to the Northwest. So keep that in mind, Gris. You got Dala heading your way after he delivers Monday in Maine. We're going to be heading him down to you, most likely.
Where in Maine's he going?
He is going to Portland.
Portland? Okay, so Southeast Coast. Okay.
Yeah.
And
I had Jesse there today. Christian, I was going to call you because I know you got someone up there you use regularly. But I stumbled across something, a one-day hit that just made sense to me, and I got to get him over here because we got to do a inspection, out-of-state inspection for the DMV on that truck that we bought for him. So
when you get to Maine, try to book them ahead of time. At 10 o'clock is when the market flips. So right now, I'm just looking at the last week. It looks like the load count was 43 for 15 trucks just in Portland alone. That's not the whole state of Maine, right? So we're just looking at a very small area, but it's basically what they call the custom market. And then it flips to 138 loads to 75 trucks, and then it dials down. So try to book them the day ahead, or by 10 a.m. that day, you'll have the better negotiating power.
Yeah. Yep. So this week, we're going to do this throughout the show. This week in the history of the world. So, Joel, what do you got for us? What happened this week and when?
History of the world.
In the history of the world.
Well, what I have today, May 18th, 1980, I have Mount St. Helens erupted.
Oh, that was mine.
That was mine.
I'm good. I got a couple over here. We're good.
Joel,
I do have another one.
There's how many? We could have went back 5,000 years, and you picked the same thing as.
All right, I'll give you another one.
And I.
Ready?
No, go ahead.
This is why.
You've already ruined it, Joel.
Wow. I got it all written out here.
What'd you want me to?
All he had to do was say one thing.
Well, what time was it that Mount St. Helens erupted?
11:18 and 42 seconds.
No, it was 8:32 on May 18th Pacific
is that PM
time.
or AM?
AM Pacific time. 1980. Mount St.
What a way to
Helens
wake up.
suffers a massive eruption, killing 57 people and devastating some 210 square miles of wilderness. Did you have all that, Joel?
No, but I did have, in 1942, the Yankees stopped playing night games for the duration of World War II.
Really?
Yeah.
Who told you that, Jim Mackey?
Field and Stream.
All right. So we'll get to a couple others here in a minute. Well, Ray, we'll get to yours now. What do you got? What happened this week in history?
Mount St. Helens erupted.
That was mine. You suck.
Ray, is he muted or is
Ray,
he?
He's muted.
Yeah. How about you, Lee? You want to go?
Here he
Yeah,
is. He's
sorry
coming
about
back.
that. I was
Here he
muted.
is.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so on this day, Mount St. Helens. No, I'm just kidding. May 14th, in 1796, first smallpox vaccine was tested. Edward Jenner, an English doctor, tests the world's first vaccine of smallpox on a 8-year-old boy named James Phipps.
Did it
And
work?
until then,
Named James Mackey.
How many shots did he have? Did he need a booster? How many?
I think there was like 6 booster shots coming along with that, and
Really?
you had to wear 17 masks.
Nice. I love it.
Yeah.
What about when he was on a plane? Oh wait, it was 17.
Wear scuba mask.
Well, I think if you rode coach, then you had to wear a mask.
Oh, okay.
But
Tape it to
until then, smallpox was a lethal disease that had claimed the lives of millions of people, and so obviously it worked.
It was serious business. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's what I got.
So, Joel, you want to go into some sports? Update us. I got a little story to tell you about the
Wait,
Derby.
Is that all that happened in the history of the world?
No, we're going to get everybody's.
Oh, I see
Yeah.
how we're doing it.
We're going to break it up a little bit.
All right, so we're going to talk sports?
Yeah.
Well, all right, then let's talk some sports. Well, what's up, guys? I'm Joel, and we are in mid-May. Welcome back to the sports show. It talks about blitzes, inflation, and fishhooks. All right, I am Joel, your host, and yeah, not a whole lot going on. Before I talk about the elephant in the room that I missed last week, we will go around the league. First off, in the NBA, it is playoff time. There are 4 final teams. We're on the final 4. Last night, Miami upending Boston 118 to 107 to win Game 1, the best of 7. Tonight, Russ's Dallas Mavericks at the Dubs out in Golden State for Game 1 in that series.
I'm looking forward to it, and no one expected Dallas to get this deep. And I picked them.
Want to bet some crickets? All right. Over in the NHL, playoff time there too as well. 8 teams left. Round 2 last night, Tampa Bay 4, Florida Panthers 1 in best of 7 in the East. The second Eastern team, New York Rangers at Carolina Hurricanes tonight. Last night over in the West, Colorado 3, St. Louis 2 in Game 1, Round 2 in that series. And out west, Edmonton at the Calgary Flames later tonight. Over in Major League Baseball, over in the National League East, New York Mets still holding on to first place at 24-14. Over in the Central, Milwaukee Brewers at 23-14. Out west, the Dodgers holding on to 24-12. Over in the American League East, other New York team, Yankees 27-9. In the Central, Minnesota out to a good start at 21-16. And out west, the Cheaters, Houston still in first place, 24-13. I had to get that blast in. Over in golf, this weekend, Southern Hills Classic at Tulsa, Oklahoma. Top 5 rounding off stats in the PGA. At number 5, Patrick Cantlay. Number 4 is Cameron Smith. Number 3, Colin Makanawa. Excuse me if I get that wrong. Number 2, John Rahm.
Morikawa, I believe.
Morikawa. I can't read my own writing. And number 1, Scotty Scheffler, still at the top spot in golf. This Sunday, the 22nd, over at Texas Motor Speedway. NASCAR, Russ's favorite, will be over in Texas. And as I stated last week, Russ has a Kentucky Derby story. I completely dropped the ball. Did not talk at all about Derby last week. I do have the top 5.
Yeah, who are the top 5 Derby winners?
The top 5 at number 5 was the horse was Mo Denagle, winning $90,000. Number 4 was Simplification at $150,000. Number 3 was Zandon, $300,000.
I bet on that horse.
Number 2 was Epicenter, $600,000.
The favorite.
And number 1, 80-1, Rich Strike.
Rich Strike, 80-1.
$1.86 million.
So the horse racing is always been I've been a fan of. I go to the tracks here, every once in a while in Cleveland area. So I've been in Georgia with some family issues going on, and so there was 4 of us. In Georgia, you can't gamble online, so there was no way we could put in a bet, and we all grouped together. We couldn't put anything in on the Kentucky Derby, and we had it up in the living room, and it was a really special moment at the time for with what's going on in my family, and so we decided, well, Tina's back home, so we had Tina sign in Ohio. You can do it. So she got on, and we put in about $400 collectively between 4 of us, plus Tina threw in a little bit. We bet the Kentucky Derby every which way but loose. We had trifectas, superfectas, exactas going all kinds of different ways. And we even had Tina email us. We had her buy the program, and it was like a book. And we had to go to a copy center down there in South Georgia to get it printed off. It cost us $40 because it was so many pages. So all day we're watching races leading up to the big race. We're handicapping it, and we thought we had it figured out. And then, so we put all our bets in. We're basically on the phone, FaceTime with Tina. We're explaining her how to do it, how to put it in. We got everything in, and then we thought we were done. Right before the race goes off, Tina says, well, we got $6 left. What do you want to do with it? And so my brother, Sean, he says, and he's a little smarter at it than I am with the horse racing, but he said, Tina, just pick your longest shot. Pick a long shot horse. And she goes, well, there's 82. It was 82-1 at that time when she picked it. But she goes, there's an 82-1. And I could hear her. She was on FaceTime with him. I said, don't pick that horse. I said, there's a bunch of 40-to-1 horses. Pick one of those 40-to-1s. And then, because Sean told her to do an exacta key, which is you pick the winner, and that he said pick a long shot, and then the four of us, the remaining, decided we were going to each pick one horse, which is $1 each. So it was $1 for the winning horse, and then to follow it up for the exacta for second place, we had picked each one horse. So my cousin picked the 3, and Tina, I thought she picked the 40-to-1. I thought she listened to me. She didn't. She picked that 82-to-1 or 80-to-1 when it came in, and she didn't even realize it. So the race went off. I didn't realize it either. We're all like excited in the living room. We're watching it. And then all of a sudden you see this horse, and it was amazing if you saw it. Yeah. This horse comes from all the way in the back and just right through the middle of all these horses and wins right at the end. The track announcer almost lost his mind. And then my brother he said, Tina hit it. She picked that horse. And I was like, no, she didn't. I was in my mind. I'm like, I told her I pick a 40-to-1. There's a bunch of them. That 80-to-1's not going to win. And then he goes, no, she did. I know she did. So she's checking, and sure enough, she did. So it was basically a $6 bet, but it because you boxed a few horses behind it. So it's really a $1 exacta. It paid $2,050.
Oh my gosh!
And we got it. It went back to Tina's account, and we divided it up by everybody. We all ended up with a little under $400 each.
That hurts so much.
And our money back that we put in. So it was really, really a cool moment. I've never won that much on a horse race. So and on a $6 bet, really, basically.
I bet $2 on Zandon to win. He was a long shot too. He got third place, but yeah.
They said that that was the longest shot, I believe, Joel, in Kentucky Derby history. I could be wrong on that.
That's what I heard too.
That's what I heard. That was the longest shot ever in the Derby history. If I'm wrong, correct me, but at least in the last 100 years or so.
This is RC Biscuit right here.
Too.
Yeah. Pretty amazing. And then I listened to a lot of sports radio, so the next day they're all talking about, well, wait 2 days to see if he passes the drug test. But he did. He passed the drug test.
We did talk about that last year.
Yeah.
Remember?
Mm-hmm. So anyway, that's my Derby story.
That's crazy.
Christian, did you watch the race?
I did not, but I watched that come from behind. That's I was the exact same way. Test the horse. Something had to go on there. That's great.
And they did, yeah.
Yep.
Hey, Gris, are you still with us?
Yeah.
Oh, did you watch the Derby?
No, I watch soccer, if that counts. I think my family just took it as a personal insult growing up if I watched anything that wasn't soccer.
Oh, you're a soccer fan.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's actually football, just so you know.
Well, it is football in most of the world, yeah.
Oh, technically, yes, but I want to make sure you guys are following me.
Well, do you have an update since Joel just did sports? You want to do the soccer update?
No.
Who's your team?
For soccer?
Yeah.
I personally like Ted Lasso as a coach a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, he's great.
You know what? I don't actually watch soccer these days. I watched it when I was a kid because
Who did you
when I
root
was in
for?
Mexico, and then obviously trying to stay out of the riots because I think people here when they watch football they think they're hardcore fans, and I'm like, if you've ever been to Mexico, when you win or lose, I was like, people will riot. I was like, I'm not a fan.
The running of the bulls.
No, I think it's something that I'm looking of getting back into just with my kid, just because she's not getting exposed to anything in Montana. I think everything is just very meat and potatoes and, very Montana ranching. Like, my family's always like, are you teaching her Spanish? Are you feeding her Mexican food? And I'm like, are you, is she playing soccer? Is she, doing all of that? And I'm like, no, because I don't have it.
It's a rodeo.
I'm tempted to, because I know Austin is practicing Spanish. So I'm tempted to just get her on the phone with Austin. He's trying to learn Spanish. She's learning Spanish. I'm tempted to just have them talk to each other a little bit on the phone.
And if you don't know, Austin, if you're listening, you don't know, Austin is our night dispatcher and weekend dispatcher. And congratulations, Austin, he just got married. His wife is Guatemalan, and that is why he is trying to learn Spanish. So he's on that Duolingo, I think, constantly. He's
Well,
doing
he
good.
actually recommended it for my kids, so I might just have them do that. But I don't, like I said, I just worked in full time, and then I usually just kind of get out of there late, and then, like I said, I work kind of late, and then I come home, and then I'll work sometimes from home, and then with my kid. So I just don't have time for any of that. But that's something that I'm looking at getting back into. Football's never really caught my interest.
Well, next time you're on our show, you bring a soccer update because no one's done that before.
We are looking to getting into hockey. That's something that she kind of wants to do. So maybe hockey might be something that I'll be doing. But
we don't have a hockey team, a professional team here in Ohio, so I've never really been a fan. But some people are really into it. Christian, are you a hockey fan?
Hockey.
I enjoy watching it. Yeah, I grew up down over towards the Devils in New Jersey, so that was fun.
My sister and her husband, and she's not really a sports fan like I am, but she said that they got tickets one time years ago to a hockey game, a professional hockey game, and after that she became a hockey fan. She goes, I just love it. I love the fights. It's so much better in person.
It's the most fun live event.
Yeah, I've never been.
I actually played when I was younger for 3 years.
Is that what happened to your teeth?
Yeah, no, they're all jacked up.
Teeth jokes over here. Right?
So, Christian, what do you got for the history of the world?
Let's see here. On this day in 1960, Abraham Lincoln was nominated for the president of the Republican Convention.
1960.
1860. Excuse me. There we go.
That's that Lincoln Kennedy.
I was off one digit, guys. It just happened to be 3 in. Okay.
We all caught it.
1860. That was right after he failed for the U.S. Senate seat against Democrat Senator Stephen Douglas. Their positions were different. So Lincoln was against slavery wholeheartedly. Douglas said it's up to each territory to decide. And then after that, Lincoln went on to win the presidency with just 40% of the popular vote because the Democratic Party was split amongst different people. Lincoln at that point was the first Republican to win in the primary and the presidency. And he was inaugurated March 4th, 1861. I just wrote 1961, and then it was 7 states seceded from the Union, and basically 1 month later, the American War began.
So when was it? And just since you brought Abraham Lincoln up, so what year was he? Do you know what year he was assassinated? Was it in his first term?
1865 was the end of the Civil War, not the end of slavery. And it was right around that time. I can look it up.
Yeah, I was just curious. So he must have been reelected for a second term then.
Let's see.
Yeah, I also find it pretty fascinating how
April 5th. No, sorry.
Go ahead.
It was April 15th, 1865.
65. Okay.
Yeah. But I was just going to say how the Republican Party and the Democratic Party from back then differs so much from now, in a way.
Yeah. It's almost like it flipped.
Yeah. Yeah, that's always been interesting to me.
I don't know much about politics, but I will tell you this. I thought Abraham Lincoln was a Democrat for the longest time.
No.
And
actually,
somebody corrected me and years ago, but I just didn't know.
Can't believe the media, Russ. Cannot believe the media.
I don't listen to the media. I watch sports.
Democrats were pro-slavery, I'm pretty sure, and Republicans, I think,
that is correct,
were anti.
Yeah, they're pro-freedom. Yep.
So, Mackie, do you got this day in history or this week in history?
Well, May 17th, 1900 was when the original, it was called The Wonderful Wizard of Oz, was published by, his name was Lynn Frank Baum. And later it come out in 1902. It was a Broadway musical. It was very successful. And then the movie come out in 1939.
Oh, wow. 40 years later, or roughly.
And that movie was also, that was the first color film, right?
Yeah, Technicolor film or whatever.
Yeah, I believe it was, yes.
Yeah.
Hey, I did have a question on my day in history.
Yeah.
Jim, who did you vote for? in the Douglas Abraham Lincoln
In 1860.
in 1860.
Well, I did a write-in vote, and they discounted it.
I bet. These are a bunch of mules.
Yeah, it didn't get there on time by horseback.
Yeah, Pony Express wasn't running that day.
Yeah.
Him and Selby went together to vote that day. Selby's on our fleet. He's been with us for years, and he's right up there with you with experience on the road, Jim. But I think you got him beat a little. How many years, Jim? 40 now? 41?
I think August 1st will be 41.
41 years.
That's when Mount St. Helens erupted. Right?
And Russ, I saw that on this day. And does anybody have the Facebook one? Am I killing someone's mojo?
I don't. I'm not on Facebook, but
so Facebook raised $16 billion in the largest IPO, initial public offering. Does anybody want to guess what their value was at that point?
three. I'll guess.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So, what year was this?
2012.
Was it 12? Oh, wow.
$3 billion.
You're close. You're off by 101. Their value was $104 billion at that point.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 900 million users. Isn't that crazy?
What do you know what it is now?
No.
Okay.
No, I don't. You ask all these good follow-up questions. I need to come better prepared.
Yeah.
Sorry, I like history. I like this.
Hey, Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin, what happened this week in history in your world?
Okay, well, Joe did steal mine, so I had to look something else up real
We all
quick.
the same thing.
That's me last next time.
Mine's different.
On May 17th in 1897, the first successful submarine that can run submerged for a considerable distance and combined with electric and gasoline engines was launched in the U.S. by its designer, John Philip Holland.
Nice. What year was that again?
1897.
1897.
I got
a
a question.
You need to pick a different volcano.
You guys end up getting on me about 1960 versus 1860. I think Kevin just said the 17th of May. Is that right?
Yeah, May 17th.
Isn't today the 18th?
Oh, yeah. No, we're doing the whole week.
Oh, we're doing the whole week.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, on this day. All right, cool. Well,
He's trying to get somebody.
Well, no, I did today. Yeah, no joke. I did today. So the volcano came up as number one for mine too. But I was like,
yeah.
So I tried to go a little deeper. So it's the whole week. All right, appreciate it.
Yeah, we'll do the whole
I
week.
see how we play this game now.
Yeah, you got to pick a different volcano. They erupted on the same day.
No,
Yeah.
no
So,
worries.
The underground.
so Lee, what do you got this day in history? The volcano?
No, sir. Actually, this is something that's very, very special and dear to my heart. It was in 1962, John F. Kennedy created the Peace Officer Memorial Day on May the 15th. And that was to honor the officers that have been killed in the line of duty. And I don't know if y'all know, but last year we had 618 police officers killed in the line of duty.
Mm-hmm.
And this year so far we have 107, average age of 47.
Wow.
And we've had 8 canines that have been killed. And out of those, I've had about 7 of my friends that have been murdered. And that was, that's my May the 15th is always
Big day for you. Yeah. So if you don't know, Lee was a former police officer. And I know you don't mind me saying it, Lee, but Lee was wounded, shot in the line of duty. And that's when he changed his career. So we appreciate that your service, Lee.
So and Lee, last week was National Police Week as well. I know that for a fact.
okay.
I'm not sure if that's the reason they're tied together, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah, they did. And if anyone's interested, I have a picture of when I was actually technically dead. I can send a picture and y'all can post it.
You can put it on the Facebook or whatever. It was a newspaper clipping, right?
Yep.
I saw it. Yeah.
Whoa.
It's not gruesome or anything. It's just like, wow,
No.
that's Lee laying there. Yeah.
Oh.
I'd like to see that.
Yeah.
And
you can send
they
it.
were quick to get on the scene, weren't they? Jeez and Pete's.
Yeah.
Yep, they were right there.
Yeah.
But
Well, I'm glad
I
you're
just
here,
wanted
man.
to honor all the police officers that listen to us that are truck drivers now. So
That's great. Yep. Thank you for your service. Nate, what do you got for us, Nate?
So today, May 18th, 1940,
Germany continues its quest for control of Europe, has captured Antwerp, I probably didn't pronounce that correctly, and continues its push into Paris with a multi-pronged attack. The Allies fighting hard to keep control, but Germany I can't talk. German superiority in the air and flamethrowing tanks. And the U.S. President Roosevelt is asking industries to increase production of aircraft to help the Allies. But we didn't join the war until 1941, December.
41, yeah. That was this week in 1940?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow.
Where can I get a flamethrowing tank?
Army Supply.
Ask Ian.
Yeah, I'm
Ian
sure Ian
might have one for sale.
Got one in his backyard.
That where the famous term, the Blitzkrieg came from?
Yeah, maybe. So, yeah, we're just, sometimes you just got to be a little lighthearted. Trucking's been hard. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. It's been hard on all of us lately. And sometimes you get in those lulls and you need something else to think about. So yeah, that's what we're doing. One of the things that I mentioned that we were going to do is the top 5 sitcoms of all time, your top 5. So let's do that. Let's go around the room. Who wants to go first? Zach Kern?
Not me.
Our producer, Zach Kern.
All right, you want me to go bottom to top?
5th to 1st.
All right. American Dad, King of the Hill, Beavis and Butthead,
Tom and Jerry,
Family Guy.
Didn't even think about Beavis and Butthead.
And Seinfeld.
That was one of mine.
Seinfeld, number 1.
Count it.
How about you, Christian? You want to go next?
Sure do.
He's got 25.
I do. I have a ton of them. Like
I did. I had
Schitt's
10.
Creek, all of them. Yeah. So number 5 was the Cosby Show. You guys want to hear a joke?
All right, move on.
Oh, come on, man.
Just keep going.
Okay, go ahead.
All right, cool. So Bill Cosby made his own drink. Does anybody know what it's named?
What?
It's just like the Cosmopolitan, but it's called the Cosbypolitan. It's the same thing, except it's got a drug in it. Number 4 was King of the Hill. Bobby?
Hank? Is that
Bobby?
Hank on that show? Yeah,
Your boy's whacking in the shed. And then we've got...
that was Beavis and Butthead.
No, you're right, but it was also... That's where Hank came from.
Yeah, I know.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
My mower in my shed, Bobby. So
Walking off in my tool shed.
Oh, damn, Bobby. Then George Lopez was number 3.
Yeah.
George Lopez show.
Gross.
Seinfeld 2, and then The Office was number 1.
The Office, a show that I've never watched, but
You're not missing anything.
That's what I think.
Oh,
But
dude. Oh, shut
some
up.
people love it.
Shut up.
My kids are addicted to that.
Go ahead, Kumar.
I'll go.
Here we go. The Office, The Office, The
All
Office.
right. Yep. The Office.
Episode 1, episode 2.
Season 1, 2, 3.
All right. So, number 5, we got Modern Family. Number 4, we have Atlanta.
Boo.
Number 3, It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. Number 2, Parks and Rec. And number 1, The Office, of course. And then I have just a couple shout outs because I grew up on these, but everybody,
Bonus ones.
Yeah, Everybody Loves Raymond, Fresh Prince. All right, I'm going home, guys. I'll see you guys later. But anyways, before I was interrupted, Everybody Loves Raymond, Fresh Prince, King of Queens, George Lopez, and Home Improvement.
I like some King of Queens.
Yeah.
I've watched some of that.
It's just one sitcoms that I kind of grew up on, so I figured I'd mention that because, yeah.
Kevin? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah. Oh.
No, I was going to say they had a real cool lineup when I was younger. At bedtime, it was Seinfeld, Cheers, Frasier, then Night Court. Like bam, 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 all in a row. Yeah.
Appointment television.
Frasier was on my list, but didn't make my top 5. But it was on
not a top 5. It's a good falling to sleep show.
Yeah. Do you remember Coach? You remember that show, Coach?
Yep.
Yes.
I didn't think of that till just now. Not one of my top 5s, but that was a pretty good one too.
I'm glad Friends hasn't made anybody's list yet.
Not yet,
Oh,
but it'll be
boy.
on Kevin's.
That
Kevin?
show sucks.
No, it won't be on mine.
Maybe
but
Griz's.
I did.
Everybody
I
knows
did
Lane.
I
have
think
some
Lee's a Friends guy. His face is telling me he voted for Friends.
Gomer Pyle.
He's rethinking his whole list right
He's
now.
like, oh,
All right, Kevin, what do you got for us?
I had the Fresh Prince of Bel Air, the dinosaurs,
Yeah, the
Simpsons.
dinosaurs at the cartoon.
Yeah.
That's great.
the
My
Simpsons,
wife's name out your mouth. Okay, sorry.
Home Improvement, and the Dukes of Hazzard.
Oh yeah, cool.
Hazard.
Well, Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
It's not shocking, but I don't think it's a sitcom.
It
I
is.
don't think it's a
It was
comedy.
a sitcom,
Yeah, it's
Huh?
sitcom.
and
Yeah.
it was a
Yeah,
comedy.
sitcom.
It was.
I looked
Okay.
it
Okay,
up
all right,
before
well-
I put it on my
But
list.
it was an hour long.
Beats
No, it
all
wasn't.
you ever saw.
Trouble with the law since the
Yeah.
day they were born.
I've always
Daisy Dukes.
specified sitcom as like
I got one of those.
Each episode has a different situation. That's why I like it situational comedy. It's like every episode. It's not like a linear storyline throughout the series, you know.
Yeah, we'll go with it. So
I'll Google search it.
That's fine because I Google searched it first.
Yeah, take that, Zuckerberg, and your fact checking. We already got this covered.
just so I have the definition here, Kumar pulled up for a sitcom. So we're going to double check it. A
This says
sitcom.
action.
What are you going
Short
to disqualify?
for
What are you going to disqualify him?
situational.
What are you going to throw him off the show? and
Situational
disqualify him?
comedy. Situational comedy is a genre of
I'm
comedy
glad Lee's
centered
here
on,
because we got the sitcom police.
centered on a fixed set of characters who mostly carry over from episode to episode. Okay, so that does check the
This
box.
says action comedy, not situational comedy.
Sitcom were not commonly used until the 1950s. There were prior examples on radio, but the first television sitcom is said to be Pinwright's Progress. Do you remember that, Jim?
No, I don't remember that one.
Popular BBC
Just
show.
checking.
It was a silent movie, Jim.
Yeah.
Good movie.
10 episodes being broadcast in the BBC in the United Kingdom, 46 to 47. In the United States, director and producer William Asherhaus had been credited with being the man who invented the sitcom, having directed over 24 of the leading sitcoms, including I Love Lucy from the 50s to the 70s. So I don't think there was anything in there that really kicked the Dukes of Hazzard out for you, Kevin. So I guess we'll roll with it.
Okay.
It's not,
He's like, okay.
it's not mentioned on their Wikipedia
Yeah.
anywhere.
I mean,
still
it's not
hasn't
the end of the world either way. So
It's marginal, Kev.
that's
it's
fine.
marginal.
You're gonna have to pick a different.
That's one
one.
strike. You better bring it strong into questions with Kumar. So, and then who do we got? Nate? Nate's got to have some interesting ones.
So,
Friends.
one might be you might have questions about, but I can replace that with another one because I'm like you guys. I've got plenty of shows, but
My name is Earl.
My name is Earl.
5 to 1 is Red Dwarf, Alf, Home Improvement, Third Rock, and this is the one that I put as number 1, the Ren and Stimpy show.
No, that's on there. That's a sitcom.
Yeah,
What
so you're good.
what was his
Ren,
number one?
Ren and
I was-
Stimpy.
Ren and Stimpy.
Oh,
Ren and
okay.
Stimpy.
The cat.
Yeah, I was gonna say if you guys didn't want that as my number 1 or wouldn't accept that, I was gonna say Letterkenny. So
Yeah, that's good. Yeah.
I forgot about Alf. I used to like that one too. I don't.
Yeah, me too.
What about you, Ray? Are they all in? Are they on Telemundo?
Telemundo.
Yeah, it's El Chavo del Ocho, and no, I'm kidding.
I like how Gris gets it.
And Friends, but in Spanish it's the Three Amigos.
Do you
And
have friends on there?
yeah, no,
He
okay,
broke the
so-
code. He said Friends.
Yeah, no, I'm kidding. So the one of
Okay.
the first sitcoms that I remember watching, like with me, my brothers and sisters, and we'd get together every time it came out, is Family Ties. So
I
that
thought
was
you were
funny
gonna say
back in
Speedy Gonzalez.
the day. And so that's why I picked that one right there. And I really had to take I had to take Seinfeld out because I had a feeling everybody was going to pick it, so I just left that out.
Yeah, it's too common.
I like
Just
that
about.
70s show. 2 and a
That's a
Half
good one.
Men,
Yeah.
Cheers, and my probably all-time favorite is Married with Children.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
No, that's the first person who said that.
I forgot about that show.
I did too.
That's great. Ow.
I forgot about. Oh, Joel hasn't went yet. So who's left? Who didn't go? Joel, myself, and I think that's it, right?
No, me.
Oh, Jim Mackey.
And Lee.
Oh, and Lee. Yeah, the Friends guy. Lee, what do you got?
Friends.
Number 5.
Only one name on that list.
What is it, Lee?
Miami Vice, number 5. Number 4, Beavis and Butthead. Number 3, The Fresh Prince. Number 2, In Living Color. And number 1, Cops.
Yeah.
How'd I know Cops was going to be on there?
Yeah. I thought Golden Girls was going to be in your
Cops a
top
comedy?
5.
But I don't think Miami Vice counts. I think that's even more
on.
marginal than Kevin's.
What?
Miami Vice was a drama.
It's a yeah.
It was
Miami
a
Vice
action
is not a
drama.
situational.
Yeah. I think Lee has to pay
And
$20 for the St.
neither is
Christopher's no
Cops.
matter what.
Lee, is your backup that you called me on the Golden Girls still on your list?
Yeah.
That's great.
I'll be glad to pay $20.
Gris, do you have yours?
Put me down.
Girls.
Sort of.
What do you got?
So, I mean, like I said, I didn't have electricity in Mexico, so I didn't have TV, so I didn't really watch TV when I did have electricity. So the only things I could think of was just stuff that I watched because I kind of wanted to see how everybody else, or what I thought everybody else lived like, because even when I was in America, I grew up super traditionally, like, I didn't know what a casserole was till I was like in my 20s.
So you're saying Friends.
No, but like
And
it
El
was
Chavo
like,
del Ocho.
El Chavo del Ocho?
yes. But like Letterkenny and like Brooklyn Nine-Nine, The Ranch,
Okay.
Norseman, and F is for Family, because I wanted to see kind of what like non-Hispanic people, what I thought non-Hispanic people did in their free time.
I like Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Tina watches that sometimes,
That's not bad.
and that's pretty funny.
I mean, I know like Letterkenny is like Canadian, but
I've never
don't know.
watched that. Maybe I should check
It's
it
pretty
out.
funny.
Yeah.
I was
It
like
is
23
awesome.
the first time I had a casserole, or like the first time I had a hamburger helper, I was like 15, and I was like, what is this?
Yeah.
So it was all foreign to me. So I was like, okay, maybe if I watch it on TV, I can kind of learn.
Have you ever had tripas?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
like eating, you know what I mean? Like even so.
I like
Speaking of
tripas.
that, so like tacos. The first time I made
Tacos.
tacos for my kids' dad's family, you know, they're white. First time
Yeah.
I made tacos for them, they could not understand why I was doing it the way that I was, and they're like, "Why this doesn't have any cheese on it? Why are you doing it this way?" And they don't understand. And I'm like, "I'm not making you any food. This is insulting."
Right. This
'Cause
isn't Quietos
Yeah.
Taco Bell.
And like when I do tortillas, they call them shells, and I'm like, I'm not doing this. You're insulting me. So they want like flour tortillas with ground beef and shredded cheese, and I'm like, I'm gonna make you tamales and ceviche and you know all of that, and I'm like, I can't make you tacos, you know, de cabeza or tripas or menudo or pozole, because you're gonna be just staring at me like I grew 3
Yeah.
heads.
Well, you're
So I
speaking my
can't do it.
language, and I know Ray is listening too, because we eat the same.
Yeah.
I've been to a Nieto family reunion, and Ray does a lot of cooking.
And Chavez.
And yeah, Chavez doesn't cook.
Yeah.
No, it's Ray.
No, at Taco Bell, you can get gas for about $1.39.
That's a cheesy rice bean burrito. I know
Yeah.
exactly what you're talking about.
Ray, are you Mexican or are you just?
Oh yeah, he is.
So generally speaking, we're mixed with other stuff, but the main two nationalities. My dad is Mexican, and my mom's side of the family. They come from Spain.
Okay.
Yeah.
España. España.
España.
You
Right,
gotta
I
have
know
that
you're
I'm
Mexican.
sure I'm
You
mixed
say
with a little bit of Spanish. That's
Yeah.
Yeah,
you
but
don't
we're
have to
all
come
born
from
in the
Spain.
United States, so this is
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ray likes to consider himself Tex-Mex, which
Oh.
I'm right there with him.
I speak spinach.
He speaks
You know, my
spinach.
family's from Sinaloa. I mean, I learned to speak Spanish before I
What
learned
was
any
that?
English.
Sinaloa.
Sinaloa.
I know that
Never.
place.
No, I definitely knew Spanish before I learned any English.
Cartel.
So I don't think I have an accent. When I speak Spanish, though,
Well, you sound Russian, really.
I've gotten Brooklyn,
I don't have an accent
I've gotten
either.
Minnesota before. When
Yeah.
I speak Spanish, people can tell what part of Mexico my family is from. Every once in a while, when I talk to Cuban drivers, I pick up a Cuban accent. So I try to avoid Cuban drivers.
Oh, you're one of those people. If you go to Kentucky, you start sounding like them and saying
no,
y'all.
just a little bit.
That's how my mom is.
Accent, I don't know why.
There's nothing wrong with that non-specific
And what's
dialect.
wrong with y'all?
Russ was in southern Georgia for a week.
Listen, I went into when I was down in Georgia recently this past month. I walked
Devil
into
went down to Georgia.
there's no food in this small town. So I went into a gas station to get something to eat. They had a hot case.
Boiled peanuts.
And I started asking them, they had here we call them JoJo's. They're the big wedge fried potatoes, usually with breaded chicken, fried chicken breading on it.
You want what?
I said, I'll take, whatever I got. And I said, some of those JoJo's. She goes, where you from, honey? She asked me about my accent, and I'm like, I don't have an accent. You have an accent.
Damn Yankee.
It was funny.
Yeah, I don't have an accent either. That's
Just those
Yeah, my mom.
Yankees.
My mom used to have a Southern accent because she lived in Tennessee most of her life, and then she dropped it when she moved to Ohio because everybody made fun of her. But now she has a Southern boyfriend, so it creeps back every once in a while. So it's pretty funny.
Convenient accent.
Yeah.
So, Joel, what are your sitcoms?
All right, my sitcoms. Well, changing gears.
awesome.
From the 70s, I have at number 5, Three's Company. And at number 4, I
John
have
Ritter. Yeah.
the pioneers of comedy from 1968, 1978, The Carol Burnett Show. At number 3, a show that was once on primetime television, Sanford and Son.
Yeah.
Great show.
At number 2, these rates suck. Beavis and and at number 1, Ray, because no one will ever score 4 touchdowns in one game at Polk High School again. Al Bundy's Married with Children.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mine are different. I thought Joel's and I would be pretty close. They're not.
I know it's funny.
Who do we got left? Just Jim. Jim, did you go?
Nope, not yet.
Yeah.
No.
Let's hear it, Mackie.
Okay, well, I don't have any specific order, but when I was growing up, I can remember watching on TV Jack Benny.
Jack Benny. Okay.
That was always a good one. The Jackie Gleason show. There was Batman and Robin. I don't know if that'd be one or not.
Yeah. That's a half hour.
Yeah. Of course, there was the Lassie. That was an hour long. And Gunsmoke. That was an hour-long show also, but there were also good ones. Then you come a little bit newer. Let's go to Monty Python. Would that fit into there?
Monty Python.
I don't know.
I've watched a little Monty Python.
I kind of enjoyed watching that. Doctor Who.
The old
They were,
Doctor Who you're thinking of.
Yes. So that's about my list.
All right. That's a unique one.
New would be Married with Children. Would be my all-time favorite.
Well, that's old for us.
Yeah,
It's
it's
been a-
94.
Yeah. He's like new, modern.
Hey, what about Twilight Zone?
It just came out.
Was Twilight Zone a sitcom or no? That really wasn't.
No.
No, that was anthology.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So mine were number 5, Seinfeld. Number 4, Cheers. Number 3, The Munsters.
Oh, what?
I love that show.
You might as well say the Addams
Don't
Family.
be a
That-
hater.
That is horrible.
That was a great show.
You're paying $20. That's horrible. That is atrocious.
The black and white one. It was the black and white one. I don't know. They made it.
I like the mustache.
Did they even?
It was great.
Just
Okay.
double it.
They did go to color.
Number 2, MASH.
Grandpa Mustard.
Number 2, MASH. And number 1, Hogan's Heroes.
That is an awful list. That is the most boring block of television ever.
I thought you were gonna say MacGyver.
Excuse me, I need to
No.
go Ralph real quick. That was horrible, Russ. I used to think you were so cool.
I mean,
You just turned 50 or 80.
no, I like Hogan's Heroes. That's my favorite. I really thought Joel's was going to be similar to mine. I mean, come
I'll go
on.
with you.
Yeah, come on, Jim.
Hogan's Heroes. That
Jim
a
was
good
born in
show. I like that.
1750.
Come on, Nate and Kevin. I know you like some
Oh, no,
MASH and some Hogan's
I like
Heroes.
MASH.
I do, but
I
you know,
also liked Monsters, but the guy that played Herman Monster actually, before he did the Monsters, was a judge.
My cousin Vinny.
Yeah, and my
Yeah.
cousin Vinny.
yeah, my cousin Vinny.
The
No,
two
I was
you.
actually like real life judge.
Russ, of all the shows you have, and this is the thing, no disrespect, MASH, okay, I get it. But of all the shows you get to pick from, that was your final top 5. Like all of
I thought
everything.
I am really shocked. I thought you were going to be impressed.
He doesn't watch much
Oh,
television.
I'm impressed. No, I'm the opposite of impressed.
MASH was
Okay, I
funny.
don't
just-
watch a
I
lot
just
of
didn't see the
television.
whole thing.
Depressed.
Hey, Russ, we're going to have a redo. I would like you to come back next week with
Yeah.
another
Oh,
list of the
wow.
5.
Did anybody watch MacGyver? I mean, I'm just curious. I really thought somebody was
No,
going to say
Kevin
MacGyver.
did. Kevin did. That's how he knows how to
It's not a
MacGyver.
comedy, though.
Russ needs to MacGyver his sheet back together and get us something new here. That's so atrocious.
Wow.
I mean, yeah, MacGyver could actually detonate a nuclear bomb with a
You know-
toothpick and a shirt button.
Yeah.
For anybody that wants to know, when he put that egg in the radiator, stop the leak, I tried that. It's like 17 years old. It doesn't work.
He can get $10 a mile
Yeah.
out of Utah now, though. MacGyver.
I really thought you guys were going to be like Hogan's Heroes. I'm impressed.
We are
forgot about that
surprised.
one.
Surprised is the word, not impressed. It's close, but we're surprised.
Joel, you're not with me on this,
I'm
Joel?
with you on Hogan. Yeah,
Joel,
Colonel
he was
Hogan,
talking
come
about
on.
you blowing tires out 2 weeks ago when you're
Joe just wants
looking
to
up for looking for a little backup there, Joel. I
No,
got
you're not
Mackie
thinking
with
from
me.
us.
I don't know. Anyway,
I should have known out of a Browns fan. That's the list he would have picked.
wow, that might make a good TikTok.
I
next
just thought
week,
of
what
another
that do
good
over?
one.
What'd you
Gomer
say, Jim?
Pyle. I
Gomer
just thought
Pyle.
of another one. Gomer Pyle's another good one.
You
too.
guys need to go on a date
Okay.
together.
Do you guys want to hear the ones that didn't make my top 5? There was
Not if
another
that was
5.
your top 5.
Yeah, no, if it gets worse, the answer's no. But yes,
Frasier,
The-
Friends.
The Adams
Going
Family,
Oh, Jesus
again, that's what I
Christ.
said. You might as well pick the Addams Family.
Gilligan's
That's a show
Island.
That's a show that Mark came out. on,
Nobody
right?
liked
Adams
Gilligan's.
I
Island?
watched it.
cool.
I watched it. I liked
That's
it.
good. Frasier.
Who did you hang out with when you were a child?
I did
Nobody.
put a-
the answer's nobody.
Right.
He hung out with
I
nobody.
put a modern one in there. SpongeBob
the TV.
SquarePants.
Oh my God, that's not even good.
You were all over the map, man.
Oh, wow.
Andy Griffith. I Love Lucy. Taxi. And that's it. That's all I had.
That's it.
Honestly,
Andy
that's
Griffith.
why Andy Griffith didn't
I
know
liked
since
Andy
somebody
Griffith.
Benny
stopped
Hill on
him.
there too.
All right. Well,
Andy
that was
Griffith
fun.
Was good. There was always a
The
hidden
fact that
man-
the fact that the song that starts the show you have to whistle tells you how old that one is.
Right. Credits rolled at the beginning.
All right.
That's funny. So
You ever
let's do.
wonder on the Andy Griffith show? Did you ever wonder this? That nobody was married except for Otis, and he was a drunk.
Oh, really?
That's why he was drinking. Drove him to drinking.
Yeah.
Um.
Trying to ease the pain.
All right. Questions with Kumar. Let's knock it out. Let's see who's paying the St. Christopher Fund. Not trucking questions. Fishing questions with Kumar.
Fishing questions. With
Yeah.
Kumar.
So,
Questions.
Grizz, are you still with us?
No Mike Doty.
Yeah.
Okay, so you and Kumar get the first chance, and you can talk about it together, and you can answer the question. If you guys get more than 3 out of 5, or get 3 out of 5 right, then who do you want, Christian? Do you want them or you want the drivers?
I'm gonna go with the drivers, Russ. I'd like to win this
Okay.
bet.
Smart move because we're
Looked
not
at me like Clint Eastwood there. Like,
She said she had no power and no water, so I was like, "That's not a safe bet." And no offense, Kumar, you don't look like a
Well,
fisherman.
that's a smart move. I had
I
to
fished a
sweat and
couple
Joel the
times.
loads at the beginning. It's a smart move on your part.
Fishing the
Said
dumpster.
I do listen well.
Okay, so
Chris.
Christian's taking the drivers.
Grizz, did you get my
I
text?
do know Ray fishes. Ray likes to fish, so you got Ray.
You're my
on.
favorite, Joel. You can tell Ian and Zach that much.
Yeah, you got my text, right?
Yeah, I'm not a technical fisherman though. I like
Not
I
like
don't know the
Doty.
names of all the. Yeah, no. I just
All right.
like a fun fisherman.
Well, me neither. So I just made this up. All right, you ready?
Let's do it.
Nice.
Let's do it.
So drivers, you got to wait. Let Grizz and let Kumar consult with each other and see if they can get it right first.
Okay, question 1. When choosing a fishing lure, what is the most important feature? Is it A, the color, Is it B, the number of hooks? Is it C, how deep will it run? Or D, the type of knot? When choosing a fishing lure, what is the most important feature?
So Gris and Kumar, you guys can talk amongst yourself publicly in the air.
Gris, I'm thinking color. What do you think?
That's better than anything I had.
All right, so they go with colored. Drivers?
I would have
How
went
deep
with
it-
color also.
So when choosing a fishing lure, what is the most important feature? Color, number of hooks, how deep will it run, or type of knot?
Come on, Gris.
A fishing lure.
How deep
Most-
it'll run.
I was gonna go with color myself.
Jim says, how deep will it run?
Well, you guys should pick one so that you guys don't take.
Whoa,
you guys
whoa!
gotta
What are
consult
you,
with
a
each
rule
other.
officiator?
I like
Listen,
if
bud.
it's only
Go with
fair
that.
because they could all pick different answers.
They already have the advantage.
So who do you want to go with?
I
Jim,
think it's a knot.
Kevin, Ray, Nate?
Yeah, Lee. I like that answer.
Oh, Lee's still with us. I thought he had to cut out.
Yeah, what was that, Lee? What was your answer?
I think it's a knot because if it's not tied, then you can't catch anything.
Yeah, I think so too.
They think a knot.
I did not
If
think
you guys
Have
get
a
it
knot.
wrong,
It's a zero.
that's a zero, yeah. So what are you going with? What's the consensus
Better
there,
not
Jim and
mention
Ray?
That again.
You say a knot, or you say
Um,
how deep will it run, or the color? That's what I've heard from you guys.
I'm
They're truly stumped.
This is better than true.
so
I'm
we
sticking
gotta
with my answer.
kind of go
Gris,
up
did you
together
read
on
my
the same
lips?
answer. I'll
What'd
go
you
with.
say?
I really think it's the type of knot, but
Final answer? D. Final answer.
if we
Boys?
got to join on the same.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Joel.
All right, Mike Doty, what do you
final
say?
Do, 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 do.
All right, according to this 1955 Field and Stream book, when choosing a fishing lure, the most important feature is how deep will it run?
Mackie would have got it.
Mackie did get it.
You guys got to go back to listening to Mackie.
That's it. The old
Aren't fish colorblind?
bamboo pole.
All right, so we may need a
right,
bonus
Gris, I
question
didn't know
now that
either.
we got a zero on the
I
first
do
one.
believe fish are colorblind.
Okay, what's the next one, Joel?
Question number 2. When walleye are relaxing in the shallow, shady water, where is the best place to cast for them? A, from a boat. B, from a shore. C, waist deep. D, doesn't matter. Walleye. Gris, you know what walleye are?
Yeah, she lived on the Great Lakes.
Where she's from?
She said she lived around Michigan somewhere.
Yeah, so I'm thinking from the shore, because we're talking shady.
What do you think, Gris? You with him? Or do you think it's from a boat, waist deep, or doesn't matter?
Definitely not on a boat. I'm gonna go with the shore.
So they're going to go with the shore. Drivers,
Waist
when
deep.
I'm gonna say it doesn't matter.
he says it doesn't matter, what do you guys get a consensus together?
I've never caught a walleye, so I have no clue.
I've never fished for walleye, so I'm just gonna go with Jim on this.
I've never seen a walleye.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
We only got
Never
tilapia in
fished, so I'm not
Texas.
paying attention.
So they said it doesn't matter. What's the answer, Joel?
All right, according to this 1932 Field and Stream, walleye in the shady water, where's the best place to cast for them is from a shore.
Yeah.
So Kumar gets one and Gris.
You guys are disappointing me like Russ's choice in movies.
Hey,
My son's got his first picture coming in here. He went down there and started fishing. So he says
Oh,
that's not
nice.
the one for the contest, but
I
it
got
looks
That's
big
from last
there
year, wasn't it?
until you zoom out and find out how small it
Photobombed.
is.
He can enter, and the fishing contest, the Talkin Truckin fishing contest, you can enter more than one picture. So
If I don't fish, can I tip someone into my spot?
you can. Any listener of the show or anyone that follows us on Spotify, YouTube, TikTok, MySpace, FaceSpace, whatever, they can all enter. So, yeah.
Bill Dance, if you're out there. All right. Question number 3. Ready?
Yeah.
Is which fish doesn't belong? Is it A, the speckled trout, B, the largemouth bass, C, the catfish, or D, the crappie? Which
Is it crappie or crappie, Joel?
crappie?
I want to say the speckled trout. That's a river fish.
You agreed, Gris, or you have no idea?
I have no idea.
I
So
don't
we're
like
gonna go with
Christian's
that.
look.
Okay, you want to change your answer, Kumar?
Can you repeat it?
You heard how confident he was
All
in that
right,
answer.
Ray, which fish does it belong? The speckled trout, the largemouth bass, the catfish, or the crappie?
Oh, I thought that was an A.
Crappy.
Sorry.
We
The
say
crappie's not a
crappie.
river fish.
Oh, you know what?
I'm gonna say catfish.
Me
He
too.
says catfish. What do you say,
Me
Ray?
too.
Kevin? Nate?
I'm going with catfish too.
Okay.
Oh, they went the bottom feeder answer versus
did.
the stream answer, huh?
I'm still gonna go with the speckled trout because,
I
Yeah,
agree
that's a
with it.
river
I
fish.
think it's a trout too.
well, I mean, a catfish is a river fish too, but
You can
That's
find them
what
in
I
the
mean.
lake.
The
Sure, so-
catfish is a bottom feeder. The rest are not.
well, that's true too. It
That
all
is a
depends
good
how you
point.
look at it.
Depends on
Which,
what time of year.
Inexperience.
Which year of Field and Stream did you get this question from, Joel?
1899 says that speckled trout live in saltwater.
So that's
brackish
2 for Kumar.
water.
2 for Kumar.
Oh, saltwater, really?
Speckled trout. Yeah, you're thinking of rainbow trout.
He was
Okay.
thinking of Stream, but
Well,
he
okay.
did get it right.
So I have some knowledge because I played Red Dead Redemption and I do a lot of fishing in there.
That's not really fishing.
It is.
It's a great game, though.
It says it is when it
That's
gets
a
the
good
right
one.
answer.
No,
I fished on
caught
my
a trout
Oculus.
before.
You got a what?
I caught a trout before in Red Dead Redemption.
You can't really catch a fish in a game.
I
and
did, though.
so
I
you
caught
can't,
it.
if you catch one in a game, you cannot enter it into the contest.
Russ,
I did on Oculus.
scared of heights playing Oculus?
360.
What? Oculus, Chris? Yeah.
but
I'm not
Oculus is
fit-
a video
I
game.
was
It's a
fishing
virtual
in Meta,
video game.
so
Yeah. Well, I tried the fishing game on Oculus, and it was kind of boring.
Really?
Yeah, I
fall
like.
in and drown.
Yeah. No.
That's because
but-
you didn't catch one, right?
He ran
Or
out
did
of
you catch
beer.
one?
No, I didn't catch any, and I ran out of beer.
I was fishing in Metaverse.
All right, Joel. What do we got?
All right.
It's
Too
2-0
busy diving
Kumar
from
and
that-
Gris.
From that plank, right?
Question 4. Give me 2 of the 4 types of marlin.
2 of the 4 types of marlin.
Where's the multiple choices?
Yeah. A. Black. B. Florida. C. Striped.
Just give them to me.
Or D. Carolina. 2 of these are right and 2 are wrong.
You have to pick which 2 are right.
Which 2 are right?
Okay.
2 types of marlin. Black. B. Florida. C. Striped. D. Carolina.
Florida and Carolina.
You agree, Gris, or you? What do you think?
Grizz, give me 2
What are the options again?
Give me 2 of the types of marlin.
The fish, the marlin. Is it 2 of these are right and 2 are wrong? So is it the black marlin, the Florida marlin, the striped marlin, or Carolina marlin? 2 are right. Kumar says the Florida marlin and the Carolina are
Where
correct.
are you getting your info from? Is it from your game or?
It's
the
from his
list?
game.
No
1951
marlins in
Oculus.
Red Dead.
I tell you, he was right with the last one with the game.
Yeah.
Watched Wicked Tuna last night.
So you agree with him, Gris?
Game getting their sources.
Right.
It's pretty accurate, historically.
Data
accurate.
scientists know a lot about fish species. Just so we're
Yeah.
clear.
You know what? Since I don't know what, I'm trusting
What's
that it
Deadliest
is
Catch?
some type
So
of
she's-
fish.
You're going with
Let's
Kumar.
just go with his answer because I don't know.
Okay. Drivers, they said that the Florida and the Carolina are the 2 types of marlin. Do you agree, or do you think it's 2 others?
Something else.
It's the black, the
It's
Florida, the
Florida.
striped, or the Carolina?
It's the black
Florida
and the
striped
stripe.
marlin.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree.
Sounds confident. What's the answer,
I'm
Joel?
gonna go black marlin and striped marlin.
Grizz, I still need that load tomorrow. Oh, what did you say? It is the black and the striped marlin.
Technically, the
Oh,
Florida
and now
marlin.
we've got a
what?
race on us.
I
got a
threw
race on
that
our
in
hands.
there. I threw that. Well, Joel got the question, but I changed up the answers to because you do think of Florida Marlin, right? That was a team,
thought
a
it was a
sports
That's
team.
baseball
Dontrell Willis, the
It's
best
a
pitcher of all time.
It's
was
a
on
sports team. It doesn't mean that's the name of the actual
The
fish.
D train.
Yeah.
Wait.
You-
Okay. hold on.
drivers were right.
Yeah, you were wrong. Dead wrong.
Did I
Red
say
dead wrong.
Did I say
But
that?
Grizz
Hold on,
isn't
hold on,
eating
hold on,
crickets.
hold on. Everybody, shut up.
It's 2-.
Wow.
Let me. Okay. So what was the question again?
Are you a
was.
sore
I
loser?
just-
Which teams?
Give
I have
me
no loyalty.
2 of the 4 types of marlin.
Okay.
Not which 2 don't belong.
All right. Well, I misheard. So.
Yeah.
all right, we'll
You also
move
got it
on.
wrong.
Right.
Yeah.
So,
Joel,
anyways,
Crickets.
it's 2-1, so the drivers can tie it up here, and I'll come up. Me and Christian or some will come up with a bonus question, or or Kumar and Gris can sweep it. What is it, Joel?
Are you saying they're 0
Question-
for 4 and they need
No,
to go
it's
0 for 5?
2-1.
No, it's 3-1.
It's 2-1.
Ray, you
They
take a
both
dive,
missed
I'll
the
get
first
you
question.
An
we got
extra
4
$1 a
questions.
mile on your next load.
See, you're giving me hot water here.
We're at question 4.
You're going to have to book me tomorrow,
Yeah.
Russ.
Let me do the math, Joel. You just read the questions.
All right, question 5. What is cut bait? Is it A, maggots? Is it B, fish parts? Is it C, chicken chunks? Or is it D, artificial bait? What is cut bait?
Cut bait.
Kumar? Isn't that a town in Montana? Oh, that's Cut Bank.
Cut Bank. Yeah. Cut Bank.
Whoa. Air horn. Shoot.
What is
That
cut
was
bait,
great.
Kumar? Is it maggots, fish parts, chicken chunks, or artificial bait?
Fish parts.
You sure?
I'm going with it.
Gris?
What
Gris, you
was
think
that
he's right?
again?
Cut bait. Cut bait. C-U-T. Cut bait. Maggots, fish parts, chicken chunks, or artificial bait. You want to help him change it, or you want him to keep it the same?
Get my
What did
text?
you go with?
Fish parts. What do you think about that?
I've never heard of maggots being used, so let's go with the fish parts.
Okay, they went with fish parts. And drivers?
He's right.
It's fish parts.
They're right.
Yeah, bigger boat.
Let's go.
We knew that. So,
See?
Christian owes $20
Yep.
He's so
to
mad.
the St. Christopher Fund.
Thanks,
Christian's
Christian.
on a hot losing
Yeah.
streak.
I
Little
lost
did you
my
know
confidence.
that I have education from a video game. So
Yeah, that's funny.
Murked.
He thinks he's fishing.
Look at him.
You're barely
Wow.
over. You're barely over 50% with 3 out of 5, but we'll give it to you.
Next week's hunting questions.
Yeah. So, guys, episode 57, we took it a little easy this week. It was enjoyable. And,
This week in history.
yeah, when you're out there, keep the shiny side up. And,
I didn't even get to do my fact. You made me do homework,
Oh.
and I didn't get to do mine.
yeah, I'm
didn't do
sorry.
mine either.
I think
You
I
guys
asked.
did the
Well, let's
same
do them real
fact,
quick.
like 4 times, and I didn't even get to do mine.
So, what was yours, Gris?
Where did I put it?
And that's the end of the show.
Sorry, we're all out of time.
Stay tuned next week.
Unlike everybody who had the same fact, mine just happened actually for today, but
So, this is you're in the history of the world this week. What happened, Gris?
May 18th, 1652, the
Ooh.
first anti-slavery statute in the U.S. colonies was passed in what is now the state of Rhode Island. It had like 57 conditions to it, but technically it was the first one passed in what is now Rhode Island.
interesting.
1652.
Rhode Island.
That's interesting. This is the same date with Plessy versus Ferguson, too.
It
That's
didn't
crazy.
apply to Native Americans, and it was only for 2 providences, and it was for a period of 10 years or less. It was never enforced, so it wasn't like people were letting their slaves go after 10 years. And it was more or less something that they could brag about and separate themselves from essentially the area that is now Massachusetts. So something to say, hey, I'm better than you kind of deal. But they never enforced it, and it didn't include Native Americans until 1676. But it is technically the first one. I mean, didn't pass on a federal level, obviously, until the Civil War.
Well, at least you didn't pick May 18th, 1980, like the rest of us in here did. That was pretty interesting. I like that.
Yeah, it's good.
1652. And then we forgot you, Mr. Kern.
All right, this week in 1977, the fantastic album Cat Scratch Fever by Ted Nugent came out. That's it.
I knew it was going to be music.
Also, Ian
related.
Curtis hanged himself in his kitchen.
Wow.
Who?
Ian Curtis from Joy Division.
I don't even know
Today,
who that is.
actually.
Yeah.
No idea who that is.
Neither do I.
And that's the show.
So anyway, yeah, episode 57 in the books. We had a little lighthearted show. We'll be back with trucking news, a little more market update next week. Also, I wanted to say my son Matthew, who's down at Ohio State, he does the video parts of our show, And so I wanted to say rest in peace to his dog Echo. Echo was 17, and Matt's had her since he was a little boy. So he is 27. So yeah, he had a rough day today, and so Matt, we're all thinking of you, and rest in peace, Echo.
Rest in peace.
With that, Christian, you got anything else?
You mentioned that everyone on TikTok and everywhere can enter this contest to win, right?
Yeah. Anyway,
Where do they enter? Is there an email or?
Oh yeah, let's give them the email, Kumar. How can they send their picture in?
Well, you can
Trucking Fish Contest at gmail.com.
Yeah, no.
I'll make it tonight.
Talking.
What you want to?
What is that?
Because let's just do that.
Okay. Or I mean, even like just Facebook or Instagram. You can.
They can go to our Facebook page at Talkin Truckin, no G's.
Yep.
And then why don't you just make an email, Talkin Truckin Fishing Contest.
Deal.
And then you can post that on TikTok. Does that sound good, Christian?
Yeah, it sounds good. So that's Talkin Truckin.
No G's.
No G's. Fishing contest at gmail.com.
Yep.
And they can win that money.
Yeah.
Cool.
500 first prize. $250 for second.
Better only be fish pictures in this email.
100.
Pretty pissed off.
100 for third.
Oh, and you guys can either send that to Brittany Powers at our office, or send it to me and I can send it to her. I know there's a couple guys over there that like to fish.
Oh, we had a bunch out there last year.
Money.
Gris, we had a bunch of Meadow Lark people in your office that joined the contest last year. Matter of fact, our runner-up was Mike Candace's brother.
With the rust-colored fish.
Yeah, who lives in Alaska.
That was a good one, too. Yep.
He won the second place last year.
Have her get it out to everybody.
Yeah, what'd you say? I didn't hear you.
Have her get it out to everybody so they can.
Oh, we
fish.
will.
I mean, I don't fish, but
Yeah, and you can. If your family wants to enter, they can enter too, Gris. So.
I enter the fish eating contest.
Yeah, and that's it, guys. So have a great week and keep pushing those rates. And with that, go Browns, go Guardians, and go Cavaliers.
Are they still in it? No.
No.